Hello everyone. Welcome to your Vinyasa practice this week. My name is Tessa Tovar. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a very special guest being our yoga model, our yogi today. This is Jorge Tovar, my partner in crime and life. So as you can see, we're starting out lying down on our bellies today. Jorge has his neck neutral, so he's got his forehead resting on the backs of his hands and his elbows out wide. That's one option, which is great. Or if you want a nice passive stretch to the side of the neck, you can take your arms down alongside your body. Take your palms so they're facing the ceiling. Your thumbs are kind of tucked in towards the thighs. And you can turn one cheek down to the side. That doesn't feel so good on the side of the neck or the shoulder. For whatever reason, you just come back to this starting shape. See if you can relax the tops of the feet. And just start to become aware of the breath. As you're lying here on your belly, take your breath into your belly. And as you exhale, let your whole body relax into the mat. Let your shoulders soften, let your throat feel relaxed and open. And just notice how you feel today. We'll just take a few rounds of breath here to allow the body to arrive onto the mat and into the practice. If you have one of your cheeks turned to the side, slowly pick up the head and turn the opposite cheek down so you can get a passive stretch on the other side of the neck. Let's take 3 slow, deep belly breaths here. And now as you breathe in, feel your back ribs expand. Imagine as if you could fill the backs of the lungs with air. And your exhale again, everything softens, everything becomes heavy. Nice and slow, start to bring the palms underneath the shoulders. Turn your gaze to neutral so your forehead's resting on the mat. And then slowly press your way up to a tabletop shape. So you're on your hands and your knees. Start to walk the knees out wide. Let your big toes touch. And then send your hips all the way back to your heels for child's pose. So allow your forehead to rest on the mat, and if the mat feels really far away, you can take your hands again, stack them underneath your forehead, just so that the forehead is something tangible to rest on. Deep breath in. Imagine as if you could pull the air all the way down to the tip of the tailbone. Feel that breath move down the length of the spine. Deep breath out. So from this shape, we'll start to slowly build a vinyasa flow. We'll add one movement at a time and increase the shapes in our vinyasa flow step by step. So with your next inhale, you'll start to pull yourself forward into tabletop. Root your palms down, bring your knees underneath your hips. Keep inhaling here, find a little back bend. So you can let the belly drop down towards the floor. You can let the heart move forward between the hands. And then on your exhale, press the floor away, round the spine towards the ceiling, tuck the chin towards the chest, and send your hips all the way back to your heels. Come back to child's pose. Good. Full breath in through the nose. Full breath out. Again, just like that, inhale, pulling yourself forward. Find that tabletop shape. Keep inhaling, move right into that back bend. On your exhale, press the floor away, round the spine towards the ceiling. Tuck your chin towards your chest so you're arching your spine the other direction. Yeah, there you go. Hips start to move back towards the heels. Come to child's pose. Full breath cycle in through the nose, out through the nose. Let's do that one more time all the way through, pulling yourself forward on an inhale. Come to tabletop. Find that back bend, let your belly drop, let your heart lift. Good. Press the floor away. You're arching the spine towards the ceiling now, reversing that. Tuck the chin into the chest. Keep exhaling as you send your hips back to your heels for child's pose. Big breath in here. Big breath out. Adding on, inhale, pull yourself forward, tabletop. Keep inhaling, find that back bend. This time on your exhale, as you press the floor away and round the spine, you're going to curl your toes under. So you're pressing into the ball mounds of your feet. Begin to lift your hips all the way up towards downward facing dog. Good. And just start to move the body here a little bit. So bend your knees right and left, bend your knees. Yeah. Relax your head, let your head be heavy. Good. Feel the backs of the shoulder blades move away from one another. Roll a little bit of weight to the inner edges of the palms, so the thumb and the index finger knuckle mound. And Jorge just kind of widened his hands, which is a really good adjustment. It allows the head to relax, it allows the collarbone to spread, it allows the shoulder blades to move away from the spine. You can always bend your knees here in downward facing dog, a lot or a little, it doesn't matter. What matters here is that the spine starts to feel like it's lengthening out. Let's inhale and shift forward into high plank. Set your knees down. Round your spine towards the ceiling. Find that cat-like shape. Keep exhaling. Pull your hips all the way back towards child's pose. Uncurl your toes. Come to the tops of your feet. Good. Full breath in. Full breath out. We'll do that same sequence twice more. Inhale, pull yourself forward, find tabletop. You're finding that back bend. So let the belly drop, let the heart lift. From there, curl your toes under, start to round the spine towards the ceiling, press down into your hands, lift the knees, lift the hips. Start to press your chest towards your thighs. Let your head relax, and feel free to adjust the hands so you can turn the fingertips slightly out to the outer edges of your mat. Roll a little bit of weight into the thumb and index finger knuckle mound. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Inhale, shift forward. Find high plank. Pause in your high plank. Reach through the crown of your head and the heels. Set your knees down slow. Arch your spine towards the ceiling. Take your exhale to pull the hips all the way back towards the heels, child's pose. Good. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more time like that. Inhale, pulling your heart forward to tabletop. You're going to find your back bend here. Let the belly drop. Let the heart lift. On your exhale, curling the toes under. Start to find that arch of the spine towards the ceiling. Press through the hands. Prepare for downward facing dog. Relax your head. Feel the weight in your hands. Notice where it's falling. If it's the pinky edge of the palm, maybe you slightly externally rotate the fingertips out to the sides of the mat. You broaden across the chest and the upper back. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. So adding on here, let's walk the big toes together at the back of the mat so your big toes are touching. Yeah. Pressing through your hands, take an inhale breath, stretch your right leg up and back. It doesn't matter how high the right leg lifts, just lift it off of the floor. And just move that right leg around. So you can bend the knee, you can circle out the ankle, you can circle out the whole leg, keeping it straight if you like. Just move it around in space. Letting your left heel be heavy. You could always, always bend that left knee. Take one more breath in. On your breath out, start to pull that right knee in towards your chest. You're going to head into a low lunge. The right foot's going to wiggle its way up in between the hands. Yeah, good. Okay, so from here, really press into the ball mound of your left foot and the sole of your right foot. You can walk your hands up to that right thigh. We're going to rise up to crescent lunge with the integrity of the legs. And if you feel wobbly here, widen that right foot out to the right side of your mat a little bit more. Bend your left knee, and if you need to step it forward a little bit to shorten the stance, go ahead. Now reach your arms up. Good. Take your elbows out wide. Hard to do when you're close to the wall. But just imagine your elbows out wide, squeezing your shoulder blades together on your back, heart moving forward. Yeah, inhale, re-extend your arms. On your exhale, slowly place your hands down, framing out that right foot. And step your way back into high plank. Right foot meets the left. Pause in your high plank. The hips drop for just a moment. Yeah. Now press your way up to down dog. Lift your hips, relax your head. Deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale the air out. We'll do that second side, so get your big toes touching at the back of the mat. So pressing down into the ball mounds of both feet, big toes are touching. Yeah, inhale, extend your your left leg up and back, second side, left leg reaches up and back. And then just add any movement here. So you can bend the knee, you can circle out the ankle, you could take the whole leg and rotate it around. Just moving that left leg. Just starting to build some heat. Breathe in, extend your left leg. Breathe out, pull your left knee in towards your chest. You're going to send that left foot up into a low lunge. This is a great transition that Jorge's making. He set his left knee down and then moved it forward. Really nice transition. So plugging into the ball mount of your right foot now, see if you can keep that right knee pointing down. Yeah, and then if you need more balance, widen the left foot out to the side. Good. Stretch your arms straight up towards the ceiling. You can bend the elbows out wide to the side. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Press your heart forward. Inhale, re-extend your arms. Exhale, hands down, framing your left foot. Step back to high plank. Let that be the transition that sends your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, relax your head. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, forward, high plank, knees down on the mat, hips back to the heels, rest in child's pose for a few moments. Let your hips be heavy, let your forehead rest. One more deep breath in, deep breath out. We'll inhale and pull our way up into tabletop. Find that back bend, so let your belly drop, let your heart lift. Press down into your hands, arch your spine towards the ceiling, tucking your tailbone under and your toes under. Press all the way up into downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. So lift the heels up, bend your knees a lot or a little. Take your gaze forward in between your hands, and then begin to just step your way up to the top of your mat. Take it slow. Step, step, step. We'll come into a forward fold here. Keep your knees bent a lot or a little. Relax your head. Yeah, just breathe into your spine. Breathe into the back body. This is called the posterior chain, the whole back body. We're lengthening and breathing into. Keep relaxing your head. Let your neck be heavy. Crown of the head reaching towards the floor. You can grab your opposite elbows here. You can bend your knees right and left. We'll add on, walk the fingertips up the shins. Halfway lift, squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Shoulders move up a little bit higher. Yeah, there it is. Good. From here, walk your hands to your waist. Press down into your feet. Stand all the way up. Reach your arms up overhead. And then exhale your hands to your heart. Let your arms rest alongside your body. Let your palms face forward. Close your eyes here for a moment. Bring your awareness down into the soles of your feet. Notice where the weight's falling. Do you feel the weight more in the heels? Do you feel it in the ball mounds of the feet? Do you feel it in the outer edge or the inner edge? Can you find a sense of all 4 points of the feet rooting down, grounding? From there, feel an energy rise up through the crown of the head. You grow tall. Your shoulders are relaxed. Let's blink the eyes open. Find a point to gaze at, something in front of you that's not moving, that can stabilize as we work through a little bit of balance. So we'll bring our hands back to the hips. This will be helpful for balance. And you're going to shift your weight into your right foot and bend your left knee, lift your left knee up. And then see if you can take that left ankle underneath the left knee, flex the toes, roll the weight to the inner edge of your right foot. So feel that whole inner line of the right leg light up and fire. All those muscles are firing. So we're going to take a hip hinge back to crescent lunge. That left foot's going to start to move back behind you, curling the toes under. See if you can land on the ball mound of that foot. Keep both of your knees bent and then adjust the feet, so lengthen it out. Yeah, and then lift that left heel back up. You're on the ball mound of the foot. See if you can turn that left knee down towards the mat. Left knee turns down towards the mat. Other way, other way. Good. Low lunge. So we were just here. This is one of the low lunges we just did. Yeah. Bend that right knee a little bit more towards me. There it is. Nice. Reach your hands up. This time let's interlace the fingers, cradle the back of the head, elbows wide. Lean your head back into your hand. Deep breath in. Breath out. Reach the hands back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring your hands down. Frame your right foot out. And then move that left foot back a little bit more so you have a longer low lunge. Yeah. And then plant your left palm and sweep that right arm up towards the ceiling. So you're coming into a simple twist. Good. Deep breath in. Breath out, bring your right hand down. Step back to high plank. So both hands plant, right foot moves back to meet the left, high plank. Drop the hips down a little bit more. There it is. Good. Reach the crown of your head forward. Deep breath in. And exhale, set your knees down. And then come all the way down onto the belly. All the way down onto the belly. Kind of like how you started class. So shift forward, pull yourself forward. Yeah, there it is. Good. Uncurl the toes. Walk the hands underneath the shoulders. Nice. Walk the wrists back underneath the elbows. So move the wrists back just a little bit more. Yep. From there, press down into the pelvis and the hands. Inhale, lift up through the heart, low cobra. Good. Exhale, lower. From here, you can choose to either curl the toes under and practice pressing up into high plank, or curl the toes under and press up to your hands and knees through tabletop. Eventually we'll meet in downward facing dog, so you can choose how you'd like to get there. So start by curling the toes under. Either maybe you're pressing all the way up to high plank. Do this with the integrity of the navel hugging into the spine. The quadriceps are engaged. And from there, downward facing dog, you're lifting your hips. And if you've come off the back of your mat like Jorge has, because he's super tall, just walk yourself forward so that both your hands and your feet are on your yoga mat. We need a longer mat for tall guys. Lift your hips up, down dog. Good. Lift the heels a little bit, bend the knees, bring the gaze forward. Start to step your way up to the top of your mat. We're going to come back into a forward fold. Good. Just relax your head here, relax your head. Bend your knees a lot or a little. Walk your fingertips up your shins. Find that halfway lift. Good. Hands to the waist and then stand up. So this time we're going to move right into that series again, we're just going to add on. So we're going to come into that same side. So find that focal point to gaze out at the wall. Shift your weight back into your right foot. Lift your left knee. Yeah. Now this time, can you extend the left leg forward any amount? Good. And point the toes instead of flexing, point. Yep. Now inhale, kick for 1. Just leave the leg straight and kick. 1. Yep. And 2. And 3. Yeah. Now we're going to send that left foot all the way back into that crescent lunge. So take your time getting there. Yeah. Nice. Extend the arms, big breath in. Elbows wide, interlace fingers behind the head, lean your head back. Take another breath in here. Release your hands down, frame out your right foot. Plant your left palm, inhale, your right arm reaches up. Exhale, release your right hand. Yeah, okay, so now we're adding on. So you're gonna walk this right foot out to the outer edge of your mat, both hands inside of your right foot. Yeah, and then bring that left foot forward a few inches. Now spin the sole of the foot down to the floor. It's like kind of come to a 45-degree angle, that left foot, just the left foot. Yeah. So the left foot plants all the way on the mat. Yeah, there it is. Good. So we're setting up for Trikonasana. You can straighten out that right knee. Rise up onto the fingertips. Yep. So he's got his Trikonasana legs. So stretch the arms out wide. Bump that back hip back to the back of the mat. Yeah. Now reach that right hand down towards the right shin as the left arm sweeps towards the ceiling. Keep pressing into the back of the left leg. And that right hand can actually rest on your shin or your thigh, or the fingertips can come down to the ground. Jorge's being super strong and balancing the weight on just his feet, which is great too if you want to build strength. Big, big, big breath in. Reach so much up through that top hand that it pulls you all the way up to standing. All the way up to standing. So the crown of the head reaches towards the ceiling, and you're just reversing the arms so that left hand reaches down and the right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Yeah, just with the arms. Now exhale, arms wide, reach the arms out. Start to bend that right knee, come into warrior 2. Adjust the feet so that right foot might move towards the midline of the mat. Nice. Keep rolling the weight to the outer edge of that right foot. Yeah. Good. Deep breath in here. And breath out, press that right knee straight, and then turn those right toes so that they're parallel with your left foot. Bring your hands to your hips. Move the hips forward just a little bit. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Feel the front body open. Now bend the knees as much as you need. You're going to start to bring your hands down underneath your shoulders. We're coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Yeah. Adjust your feet, feel free, relax your head, relax your head. Good. If you need to move your feet in a little bit closer together, that's totally fine. Just find your breath here. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Relax your shoulders. So if you walked your hands back at all, start to bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Now we're going to take a quarter turn to the right. So you're going to come to the back of your mat in a low lunge. So other direction actually, Jorge. Yeah, there you go. Back of your mat in a low lunge. That's to your left. I had that backwards, my fault. So plant your hands so you're framing out that left foot. Yeah, now step back to high plank. Okay, so in your high plank, you can choose a vinyasa flow. You can bring your knees down. You can come all the way onto the belly. You can do like Jorge's doing and move through tabletop and hips back to the heels for child's pose. Vinyasa flow just means breath to movement. So you really choose whatever is going to suit your body and your energy level. And if you need to take a break, take a break. So just to clarify, because I had you actually, I said from Prasarita Padottanasana, from your wide-legged fold, I said take a quarter turn to your right. We actually were taking a quarter turn to our left, so that now we're facing the back of your mat. So just check out your orientation. Be sure that you're now facing the back of your mat. Take one more deep breath in if you're in down dog. Same if you're in child's pose. And then let's all meet in downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. We're going to slowly make our way to the top of the mat, so you can walk your feet forward, coming into Uttanasana, your forward fold. Relax your head here. Feel free to bend your knees. Yeah, you can grab your opposite elbows. You can sway side to side, bend a little bit right to left. Let's take your next breath in. Find that halfway lift. Fingertips walk up the shins, shoulder blades squeeze together. Root down through your feet. Bring your hands to your waist so that you can stand up. Good. And now here we'll pause. Just relax your hands for a moment. Let your palms face forward. Let your eyes close again, just like you did at the beginning of class. Think about tucking your tailbone under, rooting through your feet, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing the back of your neck, growing tall through the top of your head. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Blink the eyes open. Bring your hands to your hips. Now shift your weight into your left foot. Lift your right knee up. Remember that focal point's really helpful with balance, so focus your eyes on that thing that's not going to move around on you. From here, we'll find that hip hinge. That right foot's going to start to move back behind you, curling the toes and softly landing into a crescent lunge. And then adjust the feet. Maybe it's a wide stance. Maybe you feel wobbly. That's totally normal. This is about building strength, and using those really small internal stabilizer muscles will help that balance increase over time. Just take a moment here, stretch the arms up. You can take the hands, interlace them behind the head, make that little cradle with your hand. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Re-extend the arms. Bring the hands down, framing your left foot out. Wiggle that right foot a little bit longer back behind you so you have a longer low lunge. Now plant your right palm, inhale, left arm lifts. Plant your right palm, so other way. Right palm down, left arm lifting. There it is. Yeah. Nice. Deep breath in here. Left hand comes down. Make your way back to high plank. Left foot moves back to meet the right. Drop your hips. Your choice to move through a vinyasa flow. You can move through chaturanga, up dog, down dog. You can also just set the knees down and send the hips to the heels like Jorge is doing. Really nice awareness of what the body needs. Especially if you're new to a vinyasa practice, I highly recommend just taking it slow at first. The body will eventually build muscle memory and strength and stamina, and this will get easier over time. Take another couple of breath cycles wherever you are. All right, so we'll start to meet in downward facing dog. If you were in child's pose, just make your way up to down dog. Take a moment to settle there, arrive, relax your head, let your neck be long. Start to bend the knees a little, take the gaze forward, make your way up to the top of your mat, coming into Uttanasana, your forward fold. If you want a little bit more out of your Uttanasana, you could take your hands behind the head, interlace them. Interlace your hands behind the neck, and then let your elbows draw down. So it's kind of like what we did with cradling the head in the hands, except for you're letting the back of the neck relax. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's find our halfway lift. So walk the fingertips up the shins, pressing into your feet. So to bring your hands to your waist, to your hips, standing up. Now keep your hands there for balance. You're going to shift that weight back into the left foot as you lift your right knee. Extend your right foot forward. See if you can point your toes. Yeah, and then just give 3 kicks. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, rebend that right knee. Start to send the right foot back behind you. Come into that crescent lunge. So the wider your feet are, generally, the more balance you have. Nice. Extend the arms. Interlace your hands behind your head, elbows wide. Big breath in. Breath out, re-extend the arms. Bring your hands down. You're working towards that twisted low lunge. So hands are going to frame out your left foot on the mat. Wiggle that right foot back behind you. Just a little bit longer of a low lunge. Your right hand is going to plant on the mat, and your left arm is going to sweep up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Bring your left hand back down. Now this is where we set up for Trikonasana. So we need a wider base and a shorter stance. The left foot moves out to the left side. Your right foot moves forward a few inches. And yeah, the sole of the foot plants. And then both of your hands come inside of your left foot. Yeah. So start to straighten out that left leg. Good. And then lift up and out of the way. So you can come all the way up and just stand up for a moment. Spread your arms out wide. Adjust your feet if you need. And then these right toes are kind of turning forward at a 45-degree angle. Yeah, there it is. Nice. Now, bump that right hip back. Yep. Reach that left hand forward. You're going to hinge from your hips and reach that left hand down first. So we'll come into Trikonasana first, left hand down. Good. Right arm reaching up. Keep grounded through this right foot. Imagine as if my hand was there, grounding through the outer right foot. You're really strong through that right leg. Deep, deep breath in. And on your exhale, reach through that right hand so much it brings your torso upright. Crown of the head starts to reach towards the ceiling. You're standing up. Yeah, now let's reverse the arm. So right hand sweeps down, left arm sweeps up. Good. Deep breath in. Breath out, lift the torso again, crown of the head's reaching for the ceiling, arms out wide. Start to bend that left knee. You're coming into warrior two. So the left knee can move towards the midline of the mat, or the left foot rather can move towards the midline of the mat. Good. Warrior two, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Straighten out through that left leg. Span those left toes forward so your feet become parallel with one another. Yeah, bring your hands to your hips. Press your hips forward. Deep breath in here. And on your exhale, start to bend your knees a little, hinge from the hips, bring your hands down right underneath your shoulders. So if you have a little bit more space here, you're feeling really flexy and nice and warm, you can start to walk your hands inside of the feet. So you can just kind of walk your hands back so they're inside of the feet. Yeah, really nice. Keep relaxing your head. And eventually over time, the arms might start to look like chaturanga arms as the forehead moves closer to the floor. But really step by step, there's no pressure to get there today. See where the weight's in the feet? And you roll to the ball mounds of the feet just a little bit more. Deep breath in, keep relaxing the head, let the neck be relaxed. Deep breath out. Last couple of breaths here. We're going to head towards our cool down in just a few moments. So if you walk your hands back in between your feet, start to walk your hands forward so they're underneath the shoulders, lengthen out through the spine. Now we're going to take that quarter turn to the right. So you're turning back to the top of your mat where you started in that low lunge. Turn your toes forward. Yeah, really good. Step back into high plank. Pause in your high plank. Drop your hips down a little bit. Yeah, deep breath in. Breath out. If you want more Vinyasa flow, here's your time to take it. If you're ready for rest, set your knees down. Hips to the heels, child's pose. Take about 3 breath cycles to either be still in your down dog or your child's pose, wherever you are. And I'll invite you to join me on these exhalations. So the inhale comes in through the nose. The exhale, the mouth opens, let all the air out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, tongue out, lion's breath. Last exhalation is horse breath, fluttering the lips. Good. All right, so we're going to calm down to child's pose one more time. Maybe you're already there and resting. Great. Just stay as you are. Take a few moments. Let the hips be heavy. One last full breath cycle here. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. And we're going to start to make our way on to our back. You can do this in whatever way you like, whether that be just kind of sitting upright, crossing your ankles behind you and rolling your hips over your feet, or however you want to get to your back. Just make your way to your back. On your back, we're going to bend the knees and plant the feet about hip width distance apart. So bending the knees and planting the feet. Good. And then slightly tilt your chin towards your chest. Relax your shoulders. Walk your heels a little bit closer to your glutes. See if you can get a sense of your feet being parallel with one another. Okay, so now you're going to press down into your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up. Good. So keep your hips lifted. Rise up onto the ball mounds of your feet. You're lifting your heels. You should start to feel your glutes fire a little bit more. Now listen. So you're going to leave your heels lifted. You're going to start to slowly release your upper back, and then your middle back, and then your lower back, your tailbone. Your heels are still lifted the whole time. Once your tailbone sets back down, release your heels. Good. Let's try that again. We'll add some arms on. So press down into your feet. Inhale, lift your hips. Stretch your arms up towards the ceiling, and then reach your arms all the way overhead so the backs of your hands come to the floor above head. Now from here, can you lift your heels up? Good. Now, your arms are going to come down in the same way that your upper back, your middle back, and your lower back come down, and your heels stay up. Slowly releasing the back and the arms at the same time. Really nice, slow pace. Once the sacrum rests and the arms rest, relax your heels. Let's try that one more time, just the same way you've done it. Press down into your feet, deep breath in, stretch out through the hips, stretch up through the arms. Reach the arms all the way overhead. And start to slowly release all the way back down, incrementally, starting from the upper back, mid back, low back, tailbone. Good, relax here. Walk your feet out a little bit wider, keep your knees bent, and then let your knees knock in towards one another. This is really a nice release for the low back, for the lumbar spine. Deep breath in, deep breath out. So we're going to move into a final twist. I'm going to give Jorge some padding for the back of his head. So lift up your head. At home, if you have an extra blanket, you might want to pad the back of your head. I find this is really helpful, especially for those of us who have anything going on in the spine where twisting is quite a challenge. Just elevating the back of the head a little bit, maybe a few blankets. It really depends on you and your spine. So we'll start to hug the knees into the chest. Use your hands to hug your knees in towards your chest. And roll a little bit right to left. You kind of just check out that tissue at the low back, see how it feels. See if you can just mobilize the low back. So relax your shoulders, let your shoulders be heavy. Good. All right, so we're going to start to release the knees off to the right side. If you have a bolster or pillow at home, you can relax the knees, the ankles onto that bolster. And then spread your arms out. Maybe it's like a cactus shape, so elbows out wide. And if there's a lot of space between the knees, then we add a little bit more prop. So maybe it's like a pillow that gets slid in between the knees so that the shoulders can really soften in here and the legs get to be heavy. Take a few deep belly breaths here. Imagine yourself breathing all the way into your ribs. And if this opposite shoulder, so it's the left shoulder that's probably going to be feeling the most sensation, if that's where you're feeling in your body, you can always slide some props underneath that left elbow, that left shoulder. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. See if you can get yourself breathing all the way into the belly. Let's take one more breath here. Okay, so we're going to come back through center and pause in between sides. You can just start to walk your feet back to your mat, roll the hips so that they're back on your mat. You can do anything you want with your arms. You can relax them. Take a minute to adjust the sits bones, the hips, and the feet so they're back, feeling neutral, back through center. And if you use a prop on your first side, you want to take it and move it off to the second side. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. You can start to pull those knees back into the chest for a moment. And then start to send your knees off to your left. So this time the right hip stacks on top. And so every side's different. This side might be really different for you. It might feel the same. But again, you're just noticing and you're seeing what kind of props you need. Start to relax the shoulders, relax the back of the head. Start to take the breath really deeply into the belly. Imagine as if my hand were there on your belly. You would breathe right up into my hand. You let your eyes close here. Take 2 more deep breaths. all the way down. Good. Slowly start to release out of that. You can use your hands to help the knees come back through center if you like. And set that prop aside if you're using one in between the knees. And we'll come into Shavasana from here. So one thing I love to do in Shavasana, especially if lying down on my back feels terrible with my feet stretched out long, which it can feel really terrible on a hardwood floor. So maybe you take something underneath the backs of the knees like a bolster or a rolled blanket or any kind of pillow at home. And then when you stretch your legs out, your low back gets to release. Take your hands here to the low belly. Breathe into that space. This is just a simple reminder to breathe into the belly. One more blanket underneath the back of the head. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Let your eyes feel heavy in their sockets. Let your jaw relax and release. Let your tongue widen at the base of your mouth. As you breathe in, feel the front body meet the air above you. And as you breathe out, feel your back body supported by whatever you're lying on. So there's a sense of earth below you, sky above you, and air against your skin. I'd like to end our practice with a reading from Meditations from the Mat by Katrina Kennison and Rolf Gates. As you lie here in Shavasana, come into a place of listening. Before we consider the restraints of yoga, I would like to reinforce an important aspect of the work ahead. Buddhist teachings remind us that what we resist persists. For most of us, steeped as we are in the Judeo-Christian concepts of sin and guilt, our early efforts to examine our fear, pride, lust, ambition, avarice, perfectionism, or whatever else are often sabotaged by our reaction to being human. Throughout my own spiritual journey, the behavior that has caused me the most suffering is not my anger, but my anger at having become angry in the first place. Stuck in this cycle of anger, begetting more anger, the best I can do is check out of a situation, depart before creating more damage, and later return, still feeling bad, to apologize. My reaction to my anger stems from the assumption that I am not supposed to have anger. If I were being spiritual, I scold myself, then I wouldn't get angry. I become incensed that I have allowed myself and my circumstances to get so out of control. We do not have to succumb to the tyranny of our own self-judgment. We can observe our reactions with awareness and let them go. Over the years, I've come to realize that spiritual practice is not about locking up all the unruly aspects of myself in the hope that they will never get free. Spiritual practice is about turning on the light, and the light is love. And feel free to take as long as you like here on your back in your Shavasana today. If you're ready to move on, just slowly start to bring the awareness back into the breath and the body. Maybe again to awaken through your fingertips and your toes. Moving your head side to side. When you're ready for more, take a deep breath in, stretch the arms up and overhead. Point the toes away from your face. And eventually bending your knees, roll off to a side and find a fetal position. Take your time. From here, we'll rise up to a comfortable seat. You don't have to sit cross-legged. You could sit with your knees down, however you're comfortable. So your sit bones rooting down, so your spine growing tall. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Lastly, just bowing the chin to the chest, take a moment to honor your effort and your practice. To all of our teachers, past, present, future, and to the teacher within your own heart, namaste, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being my model. All right, we'll be back next week with some more.